During the 2 previous months of September and October, we were best served by tending to our business and staying quietly focused on the task at hand without retreating too far internally. Relationships, partnerships and human affairs, on the other hand, may have been much more challenging due to difficult planetary aspects and transits. Throughout the month of November, a reverse attitude is supported, and we are getting a clear prompt from the universe to ignore calls for lengthy inner retreats. We will also need to avoid possible forms of self-serving solitude or isolation. This will be especially important and crucial during the first 3 weeks of the month. As November arrives, the transition from October brings an auspicious time to mend or recalibrate things that may have gone wrong or got messy in regards to relationships. Simultaneously, collaborative and creative efforts, especially with a partner or a small team, will be very much supported throughout the month. Between Sunday, October 31st and Friday, November 5th, the new month starts with a T-square, which will likely bring the need to still search for clarity in regards to some pressing personal or individual issues. Residual effects of asking ourselves about who we are, from earlier times this year, as well as finding a new meaning and purpose in life, may resurface during this period, strongly claiming our attention. The 3 participants in this constellation promise no easy or fast track to finding answers, however, and November may feel like we are off to a bumpy ride without any guarantees. We may also have to reckon with an overall sense of loss about who ought to be or what is expected of us. Between Monday, November 1st and Wednesday, December 15th, for a month and a half, the planets Venus and Mars will stay in an extra long flux with each other. The sextile is a soothing, subtle and elegant aspect, and between archetypally feminine Venus and masculine Mars, it adds also an erotic element to the 2 planets' flux. Chances are that if things went wrong in romantic relationships, or if anomalies showed up in human affairs or social skills in general, this period will bring a sense of healing and resolve. We may find that what we thought was on the rocks may still be remedied, and as a couple, there is still a chance to find a way back together. In case you are not in a relationship but are looking to make an effort and be more available, is very well supported during this 6-week period. Between Wednesday, November 3rd and Friday, November 19th, another aspect including Mars will bring an effect akin to the scenario where an engine is struggling, but just does not want to start. Simultaneously, we may be feeling irrational tension and inexplicable rage or anger. Mars and Saturn's difficult flux may also lead to very low levels of empathy in general, or the sensation that we have turned into simmering, white-hot robots. Between Friday, November 5th and Monday, November 15th, Mercury's conjunction with Mars in Scorpio will likely intensify an already challenging situation. Mercury rules our thinking and cognition, communication of all kinds, and daily routines. Mars governs ego and our immediate wants and needs. In Scorpio, the sign of great polarities and suppressed emotions, Mars also tends to bring out explosive, intense fury and anger, strengths and powers, and whatever has been suppressed or locked inside. During the months of September and October, we may have felt challenged or conflicted in relation to our partner or to other people. During this flux between Mercury and Mars, the focus shifts, and we may feel similarly troubled, stirred up internally for no obvious reason. Mercury enters Scorpio on Saturday, November 6th. While the planet transits the sign, it will take careful attention and a sense of heightened vigilance to conduct our thinking and communication in a manner that is mindful and aware of what we are experiencing inside of ourselves. Strange inner dramas may occur, and we may have to reckon with irrational, bizarre, and even violent or harmful ideas brewing in our subconscious. And since besides cognition and our thinking, Mercury also rules children, we may have to make an extra effort to remain more tolerant and understanding with them for a 2 to 3 week long period. On Saturday, November 6th, the other fast and frisky inner planet, Venus, will also change signs. When the planet enters Capricorn, we essentially get a taste of winter coming. This also means that in our relationships and partnerships, as well as in our activities, we tend to turn to quality versus quantity, and the playful, energetic and outward-bound movements that drive us start to slow down and seek focus. In case relationship trouble or conflicts occurred earlier in the fall, with Venus transit in Capricorn, things will likely move one way or another towards a new sense of order and clarity. Between Sunday, November 7th and Sunday, November 14th, Mercury will be further put to the test when the planet enters into a tense flux with Saturn, the great organizer. Mercury in Scorpio already makes situations likely in which our communicative and cognitive skills are frozen and on fire at the same time. The planet's square with Saturn may add extra layers of frustration to this already difficult ordeal. The key out of it will be to refrain from spending too much time alone or in isolation, especially if it is self-imposed. Much more supported is the effort to find meaningful things to do with others or a partner. Better than choosing solitude, trying to figure things out to make them work on our own, like we were encouraged to do throughout September and October. We are much better served by seeking company. The opposite scenario may lead to a downward spiral, taking us too deep within ourselves. Between Sunday, November 7th and Wednesday, November 17th, the great healer planet Neptune will intervene amidst possible calamities concerning our deep past. Neptune's trine with the guardian and governing force of our higher self, the Sun, is the flux of hope, abundant future perspectives, and trust. Significant healing and resolutions may ensue during this 10-day period, especially since both the Sun and Neptune are currently transiting water signs. We are well advised to take advantage of this by spending extra time on sleep and rest, taking a sauna, or in similar regenerative ways. Between Wednesday, November 10th and Sunday, November 21st, a difficult aspect between Jupiter and the Sun will induce yet another layer of complexity within our relation to our higher self, however. The nature of the square as a flux involves tension, frustrations, struggles, and a damned if I do, damned if I don't attitude. With the Sun and Jupiter involved, we may lose a sense of clarity and trust, especially if we get stuck in our head and try to go it alone. The remedy to this scenario is to remain open and collaborative towards others, and to stay social and team-minded together. Between Wednesday, November 10th and Tuesday, November 16th, Mercury, the planet of thinking and communication and daily routines, and Uranus, governing clear perspectives and future prospects, will enter into opposition. This is another aspect that will likely challenge us and the ways we function in the world, and possibly lead to a general sense of obscurity, something to pay attention to throughout the entire month of November. In an almost precisely parallel constellation, between Wednesday, November 10th and Wednesday, November 24th, Mars will also be opposed to Uranus. Mars governs ego, our immediate wants and needs, and personal strength and ambitions. Uranus is the planet of clear perspectives and future prospects. This flux between the two planets is yet another reminder that individualistic, forceful and ambitious solo acts are not at all supported throughout the month of November. What brings stability and volition, on the other hand, is staying connected and remaining collaborative with others. Between Thursday, November 11th and Monday, November 22nd, the flux between the Sun and Pluto will help with this. The energetic quality of this support will be similar to a subtle and soft hand coming in to smooth things out, bringing a fresh, renewed sense of meaning to our ego and its needs. The sextile between the two dignities in Scorpio and Capricorn will also arrive as if from a deep and instinctual source, having the potential to be all the more profound in its effect because of that. Between Saturday, November 13th and Friday, November 26th, Venus and Uranus will be in a flux that highlights the need to expect clarity and perspectives by staying social and connected. Since Venus is involved, this is especially supported in romantic relationships, but is also true for groups and partnerships that are small in size. Collaborative efforts between couples and teamwork with clear projects are likely to receive a boost at this time, which is the inverse scenario of what the forecast predicted for September and October. Between Monday, November 15th and Sunday, November 21st, Mercury will start receiving grandiose, abundant, and benevolent energies from the great healer planet Neptune. Mercury governs thinking and cognition, communication and daily routines, and during its transit in Scorpio has been put to the test in multiple aspects in these areas so far. Neptune's trine with Mercury will likely bring the effect of a much-needed rescue from potentially frequent troubles and obscurities, and provide a soothing, slowing, and overall healing quality among the calamities. Within roughly the same timeframe, however, between Wednesday, November 17th and Wednesday, November 24th, Mercury will also be challenged by a difficult flux with Jupiter. The great benefactor and Mercury's square puts into perspective only frustration and tension if we look forward to something big or overly optimistic at mid-month. Rather than seeking for hope and bounty in the outside world, a better scenario is to humbly carry on with daily routines and appreciate what is good and functional in life, no matter how modest the amount. Starting on Thursday, November 18th until Wednesday, November 24th, Mercury, the planet of thinking and communication, cognition, and daily routines, will receive another rescue. The planet has been swinging between hot and frozen polarities and wreck and redemption scenarios throughout the month. Similarly to the Sun and Pluto sextile earlier in November, Mercury's flux with Pluto will have a potentially noticeable, remedial effect on our thinking and communication. The soothing, healing energies that affected our higher self during the Sun and Pluto flux earlier will probably have the same calming, softening benefit for our inner child and in relationships with children in our lives. It is also possible that during this Mercury and Pluto sextile, we may be visited by childhood memories or echoes from the deep past, and strange dreams may also occur. Between Thursday, November 18th and Sunday, November 28th, the Sun will be conjunct with the South Node on the border zone between Scorpio and Sagittarius. The Sun governs and guides our higher self, and the South Node is an indicator of where, in which areas in life and on what issues, our energies are drained. This 10-day period is yet another event that will put the focus on the value of collaborative, cooperative ways of being in the world and highlight the overall tendency of the month, which is that we are immersed in a deep dive of inner knowing and self-reflexive journeying into the innermost recesses of our psyche. Between Saturday, November 20th and Wednesday, December 8th, the Sun, governing our higher self, and Mercury, the planet that rules the active expression of this higher self via communication and thinking, will be conjunct. The two are leaving Scorpio and entering Sagittarius together, traveling in tandem for a stretch. The energetic effect of this flux is like a switch being turned back on again, and with that, there will likely be more clarity and foresight when it comes to taking the next steps. This will be a welcome change after the general obscurity and lack of perspectives in the first 3 weeks of the month. The main purpose of the monthly forecasts is to raise awareness and encourage a sense of preparedness about the timeframe in which we need to stay vigilant. Towards the end of November, we can turn our attention inward again, tending to more personal and individual matters. But for the larger part of the month, our best interest will be served by doing the exact opposite. On Monday, November 22nd, the Sun enters Sagittarius. After its transit through intense Scorpio, this heralds the beginnings of a celebration and festivities. The zodiacal sign of Scorpio is an introspective, polarized realm that stirs things up with great intensity. When the Sun moves on from Scorpio, a bountiful, festive period, clearer perspectives, and more optimistic levels of experiencing the world as if from a higher ground, tends to follow. In the last week of November, between Monday, November 22nd and Sunday, November 28th, an odd sense of disorientation may set in, and we may feel tired, or even exhausted and run down. September and October were busy, highly active months, requiring our focus and stamina especially in work-related matters. This sense of commitment, however, helped to establish a new set of foundations, and in an ideal scenario, kept us out of personal or relationship drama. In November, powerful aspects and planetary involvement in these fluxes might pull us too deep into drama once again, but this time with ourselves. The overall counsel has been, therefore, to be vigilant about getting pulled into any scenario in which we retreat from the world or act out of individuality like tough nuts. The remedy is to seek the company of others, especially in partnership and small teams. During the last week of November, as the Sun and Mercury are about to enter Sagittarius, some well-deserved rest is predicted to arrive, and we are also likely to regain some much-needed faith and hope and future perspectives that serve our higher purpose. Between Monday, November 22nd and Monday, December 6th, Mars will enter into the same flux with Neptune that the other two inner, fast planets, Mercury and Venus, already had with the great healer planet. Mars governs our ego, individuality, strength, and needs and ambitions. When Mars is out of balance, it is also responsible for unfocused anger and anxiety we may feel when we retreat too deep into ourselves and throw away the key. Neptune will help with this and recharge and bring soothing to any damage that may have been caused by lack of awareness. Between Tuesday, November 23rd and Saturday, December 11th, the planet of graceful social interactions and romantic relationships enters into a soft, pleasant and elegant flux with Neptune. The sextile between the great healer planet and Venus will continue to remind us of the value of collaborative, cooperative, open ways of existence throughout November, even though inner retreat and a need for solitude are also beckoning. We may still be tested at straddling both worlds, but this aspect will come in for the rescue with its soothing qualities. On Thursday, November 25th, Mercury enters Sagittarius. Earlier, we talked about the Sun and Mercury's conjunction, and they're traveling together in between two zodiacal realms. The Sun has already entered Sagittarius a few days earlier, and chances are that our higher self has benefited from this upgrade in one way or another. With Mercury's arrival from Scorpio, our thinking and communication will also start to go through a noticeable shift, and any residual irritability will finally start to transmute into brighter and more optimistic thoughts and expressions. Between Thursday, November 25th and Monday, December 6th, another aspect between the Sun and Saturn will help alleviate any remaining stress and confusion about internal matters. The first 3 weeks of November may have been difficult and even turbulent if we could not find meaningful ways to connect with others and stay focused and constructive about problem solving. If anything got intense, heated up or turbulent earlier during the month, this aspect may start to noticeably relieve the tension. The Sun governs our higher self and Saturn brings order and structure. At the end of November, expect clarity and a sense of mature, elegant cool to replace the mayhem. Between Saturday, November 27th and Friday, December 3rd, Mercury, ruler of our higher self's expressions in thinking and communication, will also receive the same effect. Mercury's sextile with the great organizer Saturn will give us a boost in skillful responsiveness and more ease with tasks including hand-eye coordination. We may also experience a greater sense of clarity about how we do what we do in the world. At the very end of the month, starting on Monday, November 29th, our internal devils may make an attempt at wrecking things up one more time. Mars, the planet that governs ego, and Jupiter, the great benefactor planet, will be in a tense square with each other until Friday, December 17th, for a lengthy stretch. Jupiter means abundant, outward and upward bound optimistic energy, and the planet's square with Mars may induce an irresistible push to allow ego to run the show. Such a parade of individualism and selfishness, however, will only lead to more internal conflicts and bring an emotional hangover. We may be well advised to remain vigilant during this period and take the higher road. A number of other planetary fluxes will be on our side with this. The last aspect in the forecast for November also reaches further ahead into December and will have an overall summarizing, sublimating quality to it, well worthy of our attention. Between Tuesday, November 30th and Saturday, December 11th, Venus will be transiting Capricorn in conjunction with Pluto, one of the ruling planets of karma. Venus rules relationships, romance and dating, and in general, human affairs and graceful, skillful cooperation. Pluto governs deep transformation and profound realizations. With an elegant stroke of good measure, the two planets' flux is scheduled to start on the very last day of November. As a bonus, Venus will be in a very helpful, beneficial aspect with the great healer planet Neptune on this occasion as well. It still remains to be seen whether we will immediately start to feel a synthesizing effect and come to striking conclusions about personal and relationship issues that unfolded during the fall. It is entirely possible and even likely, however, that the integration process will happen gradually and unfold while the flux is in effect, and beyond. But we can, at last, predict a greater sense of calm and quiet to settle in, and we will finally be able to see more clearly just what we have been through in November specifically, and throughout September and October at large. Patterns may emerge, undercurrents revealed, and we may see ourselves much more clearly in the context of together versus alone scenarios. The fall months, starting with September, put all aspects of relationships into focus, including romantic affairs and partnerships, and human affairs and social interactions in the broader sense. We have all been under each other's scrutiny, and have likely done significant work internally as well. At month's end, and with a new season ahead, expect some bright resolutions or crystallization to arrive, with new answers and perspectives about the ongoing transformation, giving at least some reason for hope and celebration.